talk to him.
Okay. I see it there. Go to Refuge Point. I see it there.
Who'd you call?
Who'd you call?
Everybody.
What'd you tell him?
This is my phone.
What'd you tell him?
I tell on Refuge Point.
Wow, Refuge, 10 years. What a testament of God's faithfulness. We had a very small beginning, and to see how far God has taken us is amazing and is faithful. It reminds me of a passage in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God, the faithful God who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations.
From the very first day 5.5 years ago, when I reached to open the door and someone on the other side opened it and said, "Welcome home," I knew that I was. God has given me a family within this church that outside of it I didn't have. It's not a perfect one, but it is spirit-led and a Christ-centered one.
I love Refuge. It has been home. It is one of the coolest places. Hard to believe we've been with you for 5 of these 10 years. It is the place I go to feel safe. We love each one of you. Congrats. It's a long way from the stories we heard about, the old coffee shop and trying to get the church off the ground. I think after 10 years you can say it's off the ground.
Hey, Refuge! It's the McGinnises and the Bushes. We're out here in Cedar City, Utah. We're so thankful to be a part of this church family. And even though we're way out here in Utah, we still love you guys and we are still very much a part of your family.
We came to Refuge Point Church in the summer of 2013, and it has truly been a refuge for our family. We took our time getting connected, but once we joined a small group, it changed our lives. You guys have been our family when we felt alone and always reminded us that we are loved, needed, and wanted. We love you guys.
God saved me, and I was baptized at Refuge Point Church.
As I look back over the past 10 years, it's just been amazing to watch God not just grow our church and the people within it, but my family included. Baptized Jude a couple years ago. Last year, baptized Nora. And, Lord willing, y'all know Ezra gonna get saved too, so he gonna get baptized. I've just seen my family grow through what God is doing in His church.
Through you, God's just changed the way I see so many things, and I have gained so many friendships that have taught me what love and community looks like, and you guys have been gracious and kind to me as I've grown over the past 10 years. I could not have asked for a better picture 10 years later.
Refuge has definitely helped me as a believer know that I am totally dependent on God, and that as a church we need each other. It's taught me how to open up and talk about things that I'm dealing with that I normally wouldn't, and it's helped me to grow spiritually, knowing that I have others who can pray for me when I'm dealing with something. So we love you guys. Love y'all.
Refuge has helped me grow spiritually with love. When we first joined Refuge, we were showered with a huge bucket of diapers when we had our first daughter, and before Refuge, I probably wouldn't have been actively volunteering. I've learned how to love others and to find joy in actively serving as well.
How you doing? You asked the question, what has God done for you through Refuge Point Church? And honestly, I thought I was going to have to write something down, because all week long I've been sitting here going, what are you going to say? And what I'm going to say is, I want to say the truth. The truth is, what he's done for me, he saved my life. He's taught me that the broken ones are the ones in church. You don't have to have all your stuff together to be in a church. And it's taught me that some of the people you listen to on TV and different churches, they only tell you the good stuff you want to hear and all that. Refuge Point, they tell you the truth. Our pastor tells you stuff that's going to sting, but it's the truth. They tell you good stuff too.
Hey everyone, we just wanted to share our appreciation for Refuge.
If we had both not come to Refuge, obviously we'd be missing out on a few things.
For one, being at Refuge was a part of God's plan for both of us individually. At Refuge, we are able to use our gifts to serve God and others.
Secondly, Refuge is kind of a big deal because there'd be no us without it. This church is where we met and where we got married last summer.
Lastly, Refuge has brought us close to so many beautiful people that we get to do life with.
We love you guys and we can't wait to worship with you again.
Some of my greatest memories are baptizing. That's always the best thing to watch. People's lives being transformed. Back in the day, we had street feast. That was pretty wild. Just throwing food in people's cars. Some of our outreaches are my favorite memories. The House of Refuge, one of my favorite memories. All the countless amount of weddings that I've performed, babies that we dedicated. Just seeing so many victories because of the faithfulness of God. And even when we walked through defeat with people, it didn't matter because God was still faithful.
Growing up in the church, I always knew that Sunday morning started with worship. For a long time, this just became a routine. But at age 14, God called me into the worship ministry. As I continued to mature and grow, I realized more and more about how God has used my talents at Refuge, not just for everybody in the seats, but for me. He has brought amazing people into my life, and I'm so grateful to be a part of the Refuge Point family.
Hey Refuge, it's Lori Henderson. Thought I'd take you on a little walk while I talk about Refuge. When we first came to Refuge, we were church shopping. We'd been to many churches. Probably could have gone back to most of them. They were friendly. After all, it's the South. But Refuge was the first church we really wanted to go back to. Stan had been leading the welcome that day, and he said very warmly, "Welcome home." And we were looking for a church home. So we just felt like that was where we were supposed to land, was at Refuge. See, the other thing I think about when I think about Refuge is I think about healing. And the other thing I love about Refuge is our outreaches. And I'm so thankful to call Refuge home. I love you guys. Hopefully we'll see each other soon.
We know that God is rebuilding lives, and He hasn't stopped. And if He hasn't stopped, then the mission of our church has to carry on.
What's up, Refuge Point fam? I'm Aisaak, and for those of you who don't know me, I attend Point University and I do the sound, media, and lighting on our Sunday services. And I've been at Refuge going on all 10 years, and it's great to see the growth that we've caused, not in just our community, but our church and other communities outside of ours. So Refuge has impacted me personally. I used to not always be outgoing and talkative and joyful. I used to be kind of a hermit and stay to myself. And if you would have asked me maybe 5 to 6 years ago to make this video for one of our anniversaries, I probably would have said no flat in your face, especially to Matthew. So that's how much I've grown. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, and that I love you all, and I hope you're all doing well during this quarantine. Stay safe and wash your hands.
My prayer for us going forward would be that we would continue to have a vision for God's church that is bigger than our comforts, bigger than our preferences, and really bigger than any personality.
Happy church anniversary, Refuge.
Happy birthday, Refuge.
Happy birthday!
And I want to say happy 10-year anniversary.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Happy 10th birthday, Refuge!
Matthew, Merinda, all those of you that have given time at Refuge. You've made it home. Thanks.
Stay safe and happy 10 years, Refuge.
Jen, who you texting?
My friends. Telling them to go to Refuge Point.